Now, ladies and gentlemen, here is the field for the first race, first half of the early daily double. Number 1 is Carolina Fella, owned and trained by Jim Tuma, driven by Daryl Bussey. Number 2 is Come Away With Me, owned by the Poco Acres and Dave Perrin, trained by Doran Perrin, driven by Dwight Banks. Number 3, Electric Shadow, owned by Kathy McMahon and Jeff Bedford, trained by Kathy McMahon, driven by Jim Curran. Number 4 is Barney Beach, owned by Ken Zitsky, trained by Denny Hunter, driven by Mark Saporito. Here is number 5, Broadway Prodigy, owned by Rebecca Williams, trained by Kevin Johnson, driven by Tony Morgan. Number 6 is Delco Chief, owned by Darlene and Del DeLong, trained by Dallin Sco, driven by Dallin Sco. Number 7, Last Lap, owned by Joyce Samuels and Ernie Saunders, trained by Kim Hamilton, driven by Dean McGee. And number 8, Sugar Wan. Sugar Wan is owned by the Little Springwood Farms and John Stevens, trained and driven by Laverne Hostetler. That's the field of 8 for tonight's first race, Perfectus Superfectus, first half of the early daily double. First race pacers in behind the starting gate. Here they come. They're off. Between horses, Electric Shadow goes for the lead. There goes Carolina Fella as they race into the first turn, and Carolina Fella opens up now by 2 lengths. Come Away With Me. He is second, 2 lengths. Here comes Barney Beach, charging upon the outside, followed by Electric Shadow, 2 lengths back to Last Lap, followed by Broadway Prodigy, 3 lengths to Delco Chief, and Sugar One trailing out of the turn and racing for the quarter. Your leader, Carolina Fella, but Barney Beach is on the attack at the quarter. 29 and 1 the quarter, and Barney Beach on the outside powers on by. It's Carolina Fella second, a length and a quarter, but Broadway Prodigy now fourth, now third on the outside. On the inside of us Come Fly Away. Approaching the half-mile juncture, your leader is Barney Beach, but on the outside, Broadway Prodigy is rough-gated. Broadway Prodigy is off stride. Barney Beach has the lead, 2 lengths, and Carolina Fella halfway on, 59 seconds flat, and Barney Beach shows the way into the clubhouse turn. It's Carolina Fella right there in second, a length and a quarter on the outside. Electric Shadow moving into third. Come Away With Me has nowhere to go, and 3 wide. It's Delco Chief and Last Lap out of the turn. Now they curve into the box to Rich, and Barney Beach leads a length and 3/4. Carolina Fella right there in second. Delco Chief edging third, storming into second. Here comes Sugar One from far back. 3/4, 1:30 and 2, and Barney Beach shows the way into the far turn. Delco Chief tries to come on second. Carolina Fella nowhere to go. Sugar One is there around the final turn. It's Barney Beach, your leader. Here they come, turning for home, and Barney Beach has a lead, a length and a quarter. On the inside, Carolina Fella ducks to the open stretch. Here comes Sugar One. Sugar One is charging. It's Sugar One on the outside. Barney Beach, those 2 at the wire. That is a photo. Please hold all tickets. Moving to the winner's circle, the first race winner, number 8, Sugar One. He is owned by the Little Springwood Farms and John Stevens, trained and driven by Laverne Hostetler. Time for the mile, 2-1, 1/5. Sugar One has paced to a new lifetime mark. Results are official. Here is the field for the second race. Here's number 1, Park Lane Warrior, owned by Shirley and Art Levine, trained and driven by Doug Larson. Number 2, Royal Viking Queen, owned by Harry Stillman, trained and driven by Dallin Sco. Number 3 is Lipsy Brown, owned by the Sierra Stables, trained by Debbie Harmer, driven by Tom Harmer. Number 4, Chiefs Person, owned by John Catrone, trained by Terry Medine and driven by Danny Knox. Number 5, Lake Hills Mike, owned by Ken Spurlock, trained and driven by Laverne Hostetler. Number 6, Wishful Crown, owned by Laverne Adams, trained and driven by Rick Schroeder. Number 7 is Quakerwood, owned by Ken Zitsky, trained by Denny Hunnard and driven by Mark Saporito. Here's number 8, Hasta La Vista Baby, owned by Randy Jacobs, Cynthia Blackburn, Kathleen and Wayne Gelman, trained by Clarence Jacobs, driven by Randy Jacobs. That's the field, just 4 minutes. Time of the turn. Here they come. They're off. Between horses, Chiefs Tarson left for the lead. There goes Wishful Crown. And on the inside, it's Park Lane Warrior. Those three as they race from the left first turn. And Park Lane Warrior benefits from the inside. Wishful Crown perked on the outside. Second, Chiefs Tarson. Right there in third, Royal Viking Queen is 2 lengths back. Followed on that turn by Lipsy Brown. 2 lengths back to Lake Hills Mike. Followed now by Hasta La Vista Baby, Quakerwood trailing, and your leader now by the quarter is Wishful Crown. 28 into a lively first quarter, and Wishful Crown has a little length and a quarter. Park Lane Warrior moves out of second, not a challenge, and off stride goes Lipsy Brown. Out of the turn, heading for the half-mile juncture, Park Lane Warrior now has the lead and draws clear by 2. Wishful Crown is second by 2.5 lengths. Royal Viking Queen inching third, followed by Chief Tarzan, Hasta La Vista Baby, and Lake Hills Mike. 59-1. Now they drive into the clubhouse turn, and Park Lane Warrior opens up the lead by 3 lengths. Wishful Crown, second 2 lengths. Chiefs Tarzan, right there in third, followed on the outside. Royal Viking Queen, Hasta La Vista Baby, 3 wide. Lake Hills Mike out of the turn. Now they curve into the box stretch. Park Lane Warrior leads a length and 3/4. Wishful Crown right there second. Chiefs Tarzan moves between horses. Lake Hills Mike 3 wide, and Hasta La Vista Baby 130 and 3/4. Park Lane Warrior maintains a lead a length and 3/4. Wishful Crown is getting the trip second. Hasta La Vista Baby charging through on the inside. Quakerwood, 1/8 of a mile to go. Your leader is Park Lane Warrior. Here they come, turning for home, and Park Lane Warrior has a 2-length lead. Wishful Crown is second by 3 lengths. Hasta La Vista Baby, but it's all Park Lane Warrior tonight. Wishful Crown and Hasta La Vista Baby. Moving to the winner's circle, the second race winner, number 1, Park Lane Warrior. Park Lane Warrior is owned by Shirley and Art Levine of Barrington Hills, Illinois, trained and driven by Doug Larson. Now, ladies and gentlemen, with 8 minutes to post, here's the field for the third. Here is number 1, Mr. Spring, owned by Faith Morris, trained by Keith Smith, and driven by Dean McGee. Number 2, Leah T, owned by John Terrigliato, trained by Travis Redden, driven by Homer Hochstether. Number 3 is Willie Buck. Willie Buck is owned by Gary and Terry Leonard, trained by Bud Leonard, driven by Terry Leonard. Number 4, D.L. Sam, owned and trained by Hugh Landis, driven by Kim Vincent. Here's number 5, Sea Gold, owned by Jesse and Jim Springfield, trained by Clarence Jacobs, driven by Randy Jacobs. Number 6, Razzie Red, owned by Charles Kay and Royal Peterson, trained and reined by Gary Rabb. Number 7, See the Heat, owned by the DTM Stables and Ken Spurlock, trained by Bob Black, driven by Dale Heitman. And number 8, Leggett 2, owned and trained by Tyrone Powell, driven by Danny Knotts. That's the field of 8 for the third perfected trifecta wagering. Here they come. They're off. Between horses, Willie Buck left for the lead. On the outside, here comes See the Heat. Now they drive into the first turn, and Willie Buck is on the outside. Mr. Spring charging through on the inside. Second, it's Leah T in third. On the outside, See the Heat. Perked in fourth, D.L. Sam Seagold, followed by Leggett 2, trailing the field, Razzie Rad. Out of the turn and sprinting for the quarter. Here comes Willie Buck, and Willie Buck powers up. Willie Buck to take command. They're by the quarter. 29 seconds flat. Willie Buck, your leader, but See the Heat charging alongside a challenging second. Mr. Spring right there in third. Leah T, length and a quarter to D.L. Sam, followed by See the Gold, followed by Leggett 2 and Razzie Red trailing out of the turn and heading for the half-mile juncture. Here comes See the Heat, and See the Heat powers up now to take command. It's Willie Buck second, 2 lengths. Mr. Spring moves out of third. D.L. Sam, 59 seconds flat. The race is half over into the clubhouse turn, and See the Heat leads the way, but Mr. Spring now third, now second on the outside. Willie Buck back to third. Here comes Seagold. He's moving up 3 wide between horses. D.L. Sam out of the turn. No, they come into the box to reach See the Heat. Leads 3 parts of a length. On the inside, Willie Buck second. Seagold 3 wide, and driving from the last, here comes Razzie Rad. 3/4, 129 and 3. Now they drive into the far turn. It's See the Heat. Razzie Red, look at him fly. Now fourth, now third, second on the outside. Willie Buck is there. They turn for home. It's See the Heat. Razzie Red charging, and down the stretch they come. It's See the Heat with the lead. Razzie Red moves at him in second. Willie Buck between horses. Your leader is See the Heat. Razzie Red charging. It is See the Heat. Razzie Red. Willie Buck is third. Moving to the winner's circle, third race winner, number 7, See the Heat. See the Heat is owned by the DTM Stables and Ken Spurlock of Yorkville, Illinois, Dyer, Indiana, trained by Bob Black and driven by Dale Heitman. The 7-6 Perfecta returns $145 even. And the winning trifecta of 7-6-3 returns $1,165.80. Here's the field for the fourth. Number 1 is Unshakable Faith, owned by the Painted Desert Stables, trained by Jim Eaton, driven by Ron Marsh. Number 2, Park Lane Royalty, owned by Shirley and Art Levine, trained and driven by Doug Larson. Number 3, LB Finish Patch, owned by Ken Buck and Raul Alfonso, trained by Bob Newman, driven by Bob Newman. Number 4 is Bold Spice, owned by Gary and Terry Leonard, trained by Bud Leonard, driven by Terry Leonard. Number 5 is Broadway Maestro, owned by Clyde Ralph Stevens, trained and driven by Claude Guy. Number 6, Peabody Jones, owned and trained by Darrell McGee, driven by Dean McGee. 7 is Sulin Dan, owned by Jerry Grevengode, trained by Steve Grevengode, driven by Tony Morgan. And number 8, Sky Shark, owned by Richard Flacco, trained by Frank Rovat Jr. and driven by Kim Vincent. Field of 8 parading for the fourth Perfecta Trifecta wagering. Top of the turn. Here they come. They're off. Unshakable Faith on the inside goes for the lead as they race into that first turn. Unshakable Faith benefits from the inside. Park Lane Royalty right there in second. Peabody Jones looks to drop in third. Sullivan Dan, it's 2 lengths back to LB Finish Patch. 2 lengths back to Bold Spice trailing the field. That's Shy Shark out of the turn, racing up the box stretch, heading for the quarter. And Unshakable Faith leads a length and 3/4. Park Lane Royalty is second to length. Peabody Jones right there in third. 30 seconds flat. Positions unchanged, and Unshakable Faith leads away. But here comes Tony Morgan, and Sullivan Dan was fourth. Now zooming up on the outside and with a rush. Here comes Sullivan Dan. No to challenge and take command. Entering the stretch for the first time, Sullivan Dan is your leader, opening up by 2 lengths. On the inside, Unshakable Faith second. Park Lane Royalty right there in third. 2 lengths. Peabody Jones, Bold Spice, a minute flat. Now they drive into the clubhouse turn, and Sullivan Dan leads the way 2.5 lengths. It's Unshakable Faith second by 3 lengths, followed by Park Lane Royalty. Peabody Jones to the outside, Bold Spice and Shy Shark out of the turn. They come into the box stretch, and Sullivan Dan leads the way by 2.5 lengths. Unshakable Faith has aim on the leader second, 3 lengths back to Peabody Jones. 3/4, 1:29 and 1. Now they drive into the far turn. It's Sullivan Dan by a length and 3/4. Unshakable Faith tries to come on second. Peabody Jones on the inside of horses. Park Lane Royalty. Here they come, turning for home. Sullivan Dan is under urging. Unshakable Faith charging up on the outside. Morgan going to the whip. Here comes Unshakable Faith. Unshakable Faith at the wire. Moving to the winner's circle, the 4th race winner, number 1, Unshakable Faith. Unshakable Faith is owned by the Painted Desert Stables of Homewood, Illinois, trained by Jim Eaton and driven tonight by Ronnie Marsh. Ladies and gentlemen, our 5th race is a live simulcast from Rosecroft, Scratch 7, Cold Harbor's Best. Conditions at Rosecroft, track is fast, temperature 70 degrees. It is really nearing the start. They're off. Between horses, there goes Boston Blue Chip going for the lead. 3-1 on the outside. Cannon Boy second. Hold on the inside of horses. I'm teed off. Sea Rabbit is there, and Clyde Hurt. As they approach the opening quarter from the outside, Cannon Boy up to challenge and now take command. It is Cannon Boy, your new leader, a length and a quarter. Boston Blue Chip right there in second. Sea Rabbit in third. It's 2 lengths back to I'm teed off. As they approach the half-mile juncture, or quarter that is, 27 and 2 the opening quarter. Cannon Boy leads the way, now a length and 3/4. Boston Blue Chip is right there second by 2 lengths. Sea Rabbit in third, 2.5 lengths back to I'm teed off. 2 lengths back to Clyde Hurt, followed on the inside of horses by Top Fuel. As they race for the half-mile marker, positions unchanged, and Cannon Boy leads the way, a length and a quarter, with Boston Blue Chip right on his heels in second. Sea Rabbit a closer third. And to the outside, here comes I'm teed off, was fourth, looking for cover on the outside. As they race by the half, and 57 and 2/5, positions unchanged up front, and Cannon Boy leads the way, a length and a quarter. Boston Blue Chip right there second. On the outside, I'm teed off, Sea Rabbit, Clyde Hurt, and a Speedy Apache. As they drive by 3/4, it's still Cannon Boy, your leader. Boston Blue Chip getting a perfect trip in second. On the inside of horses, it's Sea Rabbit tiring on the outside as I'm teed off. As they drive by 3/4 and 1:26, 4/5 up front, Cannon Boy leads the way. Boston Blue Chip ready to come out in second. And down the stretch they come, and Cannon Boy has the lead under urging. On the outside, Boston Blue Chip, one final try in mid-stretch. Cannon Boy, Boston Blue Chip, another try. Cannon Boy under the whip. It's going to be Cannon Boy the winner. Boston Blue Chip up for second. Time 1:56, 3/5. In the winner's circle, the unofficial winner, number 5, Cannon Boy. Cannon Boy is owned and trained by Jacqueline Rowe of Friendship, Maryland, driven by Tom Jackson. Number 9, KG's Porter, was up for third. Number 4, Sea Rabbit, was fourth. Unofficially, 5, Cannon Boy, the winner. 2, Boston Blue Chip, was second. Third, number 9, KG's Porter. Fourth, number 4, Sea Rabbit. And those results are official. Cents, 21.60. The trifecta of 529, returning $81.20. Once again, results from Rosecroft are official. Ladies and gentlemen, our sixth. Now, ladies and gentlemen, with 8 minutes to post, here is the field for Maywood's sixth race. Here is number 1, Alvear, owned by Phyllis Jacobs, Penny, and Pat Berry, trained by Clarence Jacobs, driven by Randy Jacobs. Number 2 is Mega Carey, owned by Jim Gibson, trained by Bob Perrin, driver change to Danny Knox. Number 3, Del Ridge Ima, owned by Rick and Jeff Schulze, trained by Dan Ashbach, driven by Ronnie Marsh. Here is number 4, Crystal Water. Crystal Water is owned by Walt Rep, Jerry Hansen, and Bill Stores, trained by Jerry Hansen, driven by Tony Morgan. Number 5, Sister Luck, owned and trained by Mark Papoul, driven by Brian Carpenter. Number 6, Tourbray. Tourbray is owned by Tom Stemper and Terry Kohler, trained by Tom Stemper, driven by Dale Heitman. Number 7, Quaker Shaker, owned by Norm Mandel, trained by Mitch McKenzie, driven by Carl Porcelli Jr. And rounding out the field, number 8, Duo Defiance. He is owned by Ron Hendry and Mary Mueller, trained by Dwayne Bloom, driven by Joe Marsh Jr. Field of 8, parading for the 6th, perfected trifecta wagering the start of the $2 pick 3. Jab of the turn. Here they come. Crystal Water on the outside goes off stride. Crystal Water is off stride. Now they drive full position. 3 horses across the track, and Evere benefits from the inside. Mega Carey right there second. Dalridge Ima charging third on the outside. 4 lengths back to Sister Lock. 2 lengths back to Tourbray, followed by Quaker Shaker, Duo Defiance, and trailing the field, pulling up, is Crystal Water. Out of the turn and racing by the quarter of there, leads away a length at the quarter. 29 and 3, the opening quarter, and Alvear leads now a length and 3/4. It's Mega Carey's second, 2 lengths. Delridge Hannah closing the gap third. Torbray takes to the outside. Sister Luck, followed by Quaker, Shaker, and Duo Defiance. Positions unchanged heading for the half. And Alver leads the way 2 lengths. Mega Carey is second, 2 lengths. Delridge Ima, followed on the outside by Torbray. Quaker, Shaker following cover. A minute flat, the race is half over, and Alver shows the way into the clubhouse turn, but Mega Carey is running her heels in second. Torbray inching into third. It's Delridge Ima tucked in fourth, followed by Quaker Shaker. Pulled to the outside, Duo Defiance and Sister Luck. Now they curve into the box stretch, driving for the third quarter. And Alver leads the way 3/4 of a length on the outside. Torbray tries to come on second, 3/4, 1:29 and 4. They move into the far turn, and Alver leads the way. Torbray on the outside, but Mega Carey is saving ground third. On the far outside, Duo Defiance between horses. Quaker Shaker, top of the stretch, and Alver leads the way. Here they come, turning for home, and Alver has the lead under urging. Mega Carey tries to get through on the inside. It's Alver with the lead. It's Alver at the wire. Mega Carey up for second. Delridge Ima third. Moving to the winner's circle, number 1, Alver. She is owned by Phyllis Jacobs, Penny, and Pat Berry of Harvard, Illinois, trained by Clarence Jacobs, and driven by Randy Jacobs. Here's the field for tonight's 7th race. Here's number 1, Carphone, owned by the Horseman's Financial Agency, trained by Bill Smith, driven by Marshall Duncan. Number 2, Come On Johnny, owned by Joanne and Dave Saporta, trained by Mitch McKenzie, driven by Carl Porcelli Jr. Number 3, Falcon's Dance, owned by the Preferred Stock Stables, trained by Les Einhaus and driven by Dale Heitman. Number 4, All That Rhythm, owned by Mark and John Anderson, trained by John Anderson, driven by Dean McGee. Number 5, Reno Hill, owned by Kathleen Brown and Shirley Levine, trained and driven by Doug Larson. Number 6, Captain V, owned, driven, and trained by Gary Rath. Number 7, Size Scooter, owned, driven, and trained by John Baker. Number 8, Easter, owned by Helen Logan and Benita Simmons, trained by Tom Simmons, driven by Tony Morgan. Field of 8, parading for the 7th race. Perfected trifecta wagering, just 6 minutes. Here they come. Colonel Fan pacing All That Rhythm between horses for the lead. Reno Hill moving right with him. Now they race full position, and All That Rhythm is 3 wide, but Falcon's Dance splits horses second. Carphone charging through on the inside. Out of the turn, they curve into the box to Rich, and Falcon's Dance is on the outside, taking command. Carphone holds in second. All That Rhythm parked on the outside. Reno Hill, followed by Come On Johnny, Captain V, Size Scooter, Easter Trilling, 28 and 2, the opening quarter, and your leader is Falcon's Dance. But All That Rhythm charging second on the outside. It's Carphone right there in third to the outside. Reno Hill, here comes Come On Johnny, approaching the half-mile juncture. On the inside, it's Falcon's Dance, but All That Rhythm moves at him under the whip on the outside. Second, Carphone right there in third, and Reno Hill, they're halfway home. 57 and 3, and All That Rhythm now has a little length and a quarter on the outside. Reno Hill now third, now second, followed by Falcon's Dance. Come On Johnny is on the move. Out of the turn, they curve into the box stretch in all that rhythm. Leads the way 3/4 of a length. Now a neck. Come on, Johnny. He's set to go 3 wide. Out of the turn, now they race up the back stretch. 3 horses across the track. It's all that rhythm. It's Reno Hill. Come on, Johnny. 3 wide. 3/4, 127 and 3. Into the far turn in all that rhythm. Leads the way, come on, Johnny. Under urging second, Reno Hill. On the inside of horses, Falcons Dance and Carfon. Here they come, turning for home, and all that rhythm is under a left-handed whip. It's Falcons Dance second, and down the stretch they come. It's all that rhythm with the lead. It is all that rhythm at the wire. Number 4, All That Rhythm. He is owned by Mark and John Anderson, trained by John Anderson and driven by Dean McGee. Trifecta 431, $270.40.
11th race Pacers are in behind the gate. They're in motion. And they're off the outside. The 6 LL leaves along the inside. The 1 Symmetron between horses. It's the 2 I'm a current 2 outside. The 4 French Gem is 4th. Getting away 5th is Shannon Awesome into the turn 6th. That's a Look Jack. Early trailer is Northern Hill. Bill rounds the turn, then move over toward the quarter mark. Holding the lead for now is LL on the inside. Racing second is Symmetron, parked on the outside. Third is French Gem. Racing in 4th, that's I'm a current 2. 5th is Shannon Awesome. The field rounds the turn. They'll reach the opening quarter station in 28 1/5. Into the lane for the first time. Up from the outside, French Gem now to take command from LL. Racing 3rd is Symmetron. 4th is I'm a current 2. Pacing in 5th, that's Shannon Awesome. 6th is Look Jack of the trailer. It is Northern Hill. Move by the 3/8 mile point. They let into the clubhouse turn. It's French Gem with the lead. LL is there 2nd. Racing in 3rd, that's Symmetron. 4th on the inside is I'm a current 2. Shannon Awesome follows in 5th. Next comes Look Jack in 6th. And the trailer is Northern Hill. Over to the halfway point. French Gem takes him there in 59 seconds. We'll head to the backside with LL in 2nd. Symmetron 3rd. I'm a current 2 is 4th. First down 5th. Here comes Shannon Awesome. Following that cover is Look Jack of the trailer with Northern Hill. Down the backside, they roll to the 5/8. French Gem continues to lead it. Up on the outside to challenge now. Here comes Shannon Awesome. Racing in 3rd is LL. 4th with the cover is Look Jack. Racing 5th, that's Symmetron. The outside 6th is I'm a current 2, and the trailer is Northern Hill. Into the turn, they move toward 3/4. They're on even terms. French Gem on the inside. Shannon Awesome on the outside, off 3/4 and 129. Shannon Awesome now gets a half length to the good. On the outside, Look Jack is in position. Up on the outside, here comes I'm a current 2 on the inside. French Gem tires, trying to get out now as LL as they turn for home. New leader is Shannon Awesome. Look Jack's going to try to pick him up in the lane. Far outside, it's I'm a current 2. Through the stretch, it's Shannon Awesome on the inside. Look Jack on the outside. It's Look Jack drawing clear. Time for the mile, 158 and 1.
5, 3, 2, and 6. The numbers in that one, I believe. Spallone getting a nice covered trip. Ducks Look Jack off the pace, forces good to trip, and comes on and wins it rather handily.
The winner of the 11th, number 5, Look Jack, owned and trained by Terry Long of Mariana. Dave Pallone gets the winning drive. Look Jack, a 4-year-old stallion by Look Sharp, records his 3rd win of the year. Home tonight in 158 1/5.
The winning trifecta, 532, $292.40. And the pick threes this evening, 145, 147, $185.80. Ladies and gentlemen, horses will be coming out for tonight's 9th race, $12,000 open handicap for trotters. Dirk Simpson drives number 8, Champion on Ice. Jace Sundin trains number 1, I'm a Real Happy. This is the start of the late daily double. This race features Perfecto Wagering. Horses are leaving the paddock for Maywood's 9th race. Earl Williams, please dial 312. Earl Williams, 312. Now, ladies and gentlemen, here's the field for tonight's featured 9th race. Here's number 1, I'm a Real Happy. She is owned by Ken Hughes, trained by Jay Sundin, driven by Danny Knox. Number 2, Almar's Messenger, owned by the Flying W Stable Incorporated, trained by Dwayne Bloom, driven by Randy Jacobs. Number 3 is March 7th, owned by Dave Samuelson, Charlie Ackman, and Jackie Butenshane, trained by John Butenshane, driven by Ronnie Marsh. 4, Chachi Express, owned by Don Saletti and Ludi Young, trained by Ludi Young and driven by Tony Morgan. Number 5, Sacramento View, owned by Katrina Rucker, trained by Ken Rucker, driven by Neil Coleman. Number 6, Our Mountain Man, owned by Mike and Bob Silverberg, trained by Jim Eaton, driven by Dale Heitman. Number 7, Priority Big Boss, owned by Gail Klein, trained by Jim Prowse, driven by Gary Mills. And number 8, Champion on Ice, owned by Peggy and Jack Hood, trained and driven by Dirk Simpson. Field of 8 trotters for tonight's featured 9th race. This the start of the late daily double. And behind the starting gate, here they come. Emerald fan trotting between horses. Alma's Messenger goes for the lead. March 7th is there. Now they charge into that first turn. March 7th, 3 wide, but Alma's Messenger moves between horses. I am a Real Happy. Right there in third. Here comes Our Mountain Man, but Our Mountain Man is off stride, Our Mountain Man. It's a battle up front. Here comes March 7th. March 7th now powers on by. Omar's Messenger, I'm a Real Happy. Join on the outside, Priority Big Boss. 28 seconds the opening quarter. And your leader is March 7th. March 7th, 2 lengths. It's Omar's Messenger. In second now by 3 lengths, I am a Real Happy. 2 lengths back to Priority Big Boss. Followed in that turn by Chachi Express. Followed by Champion on Ice, Our Mountain Man. Off stride, Sacramento View. As they drive for the half-mile juncture, it's March 7th and Omar's Messenger. They're halfway home, 58 and 3, and March 7th shows the way into the clubhouse turn. Omar's Messenger is right there in second. Chachi Express inching third on the outside. Champion on Ice now follows cover in fourth. I'm a Real Happy. Our Mountain Man out of the turn. They curve into the black stretch. March 7th has the lead, but Chachi Express drives alongside. Chachi Express powers on by. Champion on Ice now third, now second on the outside. 3/4, 129 and 3. Into the far turn, Chachi Express has the lead. On the outside, Champion on Ice tries to come on second. Priority Big Boss, Our Mountain Man around the final turn. It's Chachi Express and Champion on Ice. Here they come in down the stretch. It's Chachi Express sprinting clear. It's Chachi Express opening up the lead by 3. It's Champion on Ice second, but it's all Chachi Express. Champion on Ice close for third. Our Mountain Man. Moving to the winner's circle, number 4, Chachi Express. Chachi Express is owned by Don Solitti and Lou DeYoung, trained by Lou DeYoung, and driven by Tony Morgan. Going into tonight's racing action, Tony Morgan leads all drivers in the nation, and his closest is Luke Olay, who is 43 wins back of Tony Morgan. Returns $53.40, $53.40. Here's the field for the 10th. Number 1 is Anxious Typhoon, owned by Jerry Grevengood, trained by Steve Grevengood, driven by Tony Morgan. Number 2, Prairie Passion, owned by Bob Neville and Russ Gould, trained by Monroe Duncan and driven by Marshall Duncan. Here is number 3, Midnight Society, owned by Lloyd Scudder, trained and driven by Johnny Baker. Number 4, First and Gold, owned by John Taylor and Phil Brochek, trained by John Taylor, driven by Mark Saporito. Number 5 is TJ's Wolf, owned by Harold Cogan, trained by Bob Perrin, driven by Danny Knox. 6 is Scratched. Here's 7, Jano Count, owned by J.D. Franklin and Warren Rack, trained by Warren Rack and driven by Joe Marsh Jr. Number 8, Tornado, owned by Jim Scarvala, Norm, and Mike Schofer, trained and driven by Mike Schofer. That's the field for the 10th, Perfecta, the $1 twin trifecta, and the start of the $2 pick 3. Here they come. They're off. Anxious Typhoon on the inside for the lead. First and Gold under the whip on the outside. Second, Prairie Passion between horses. Into the first turn, and Anxious Typhoon benefits from the inside. First and Gold driving second, followed by Prairie Passion. It's 2 lengths back to Midnight Society. Followed on that turn, TJ's Wolf, Jano Count, and Tornado. It's a battle up front. Anxious Typhoon alongside its First and Gold. 29 into the opening quarter, and First and Gold from the outside now takes command. It's Anxious Typhoon right there. Second, Prairie Passion. In third, a length and a quarter to Midnight Society. Followed to the outside, TJ's Wolf, Jano Count, and Tornado. They're heading for the half, and here comes Anxious Typhoon. Anxious Typhoon with a rush. Powers on by. Prairie Passion moving third, now moving into second. Halfway home, 59 and 2. Anxious Typhoon leans into the clubhouse turn, but Prairie Passion drives at him on the outside. First and Gold. Here comes TJ's Wolf with cover. Midnight Society, Jano Count, and Tornado out of the turn. Now they curve into the box. Stretch. Anxious Typhoon leads the way 3 parts of a length. Prairie Passion driving second, but here comes TJ's Wolf. He's moving up 3 wide between horses. Midnight Society, First and Gold. 3/4, 130 flat into the far turn. Anxious Typhoon, but here comes TJ's Wolf. TJ's Wolf powers now to take command. Here they come turning for home. It's TJ's Wolf with the lead. It's Anxious Typhoon and Jano Count. Down the stretch they come. TJ's Wolf in the center of the track under the whip has the lead 2 lengths. It's still TJ's Wolf. TJ's Wolf at the wire. Anxious Typhoon is second. Moving to the winner's circle, the 10th race winner, number 5, TJ's Wolf. He is owned by Harold Colgan of Rock Island, Illinois, trained by Bob Perrin and driven by Danny Knox. The mile of 2 minutes flat, TJ's Wolf has paced to a new lifetime mark. $22.13. Here's the field for the 11th, number 1, Sunbelt Racing, owned by Margaret Dan and Marv Carter, trained by Mike Carter, driven by Dale Heitman. 2 Like Gangbusters, owned by Harriet and Nick Rombotis, trained by Billy Chloe's, driven by Daryl Bossy. Number 3, Thorny Number, owned by Lisa Johnson, Mike and Frank Consiglio, trained by Frank Consiglio and driven by Mark Saporito. Number 4, Do By Myself, owned by Elmore's Racehorses, trained by Warren Ruck, driven by Danny Knox. Number 5, Exciting View, owned by Lathan Heath, Marlene Bosch, trained by Kenyon Walker, driven by Ronnie Marsh. 6, Jake's Coca, owned by Phyllis and Randy Jacobs, trained by Clarence Jacobs, driven by Randy Jacobs. Number 7, Fox Valley Winona, owned by Harold Glasgow, Ron Van der Roostine, Brian and Steve Porter, trained and driven by Ron Van der Roostine. Number 8, I'm in the Forecast, owned by Brett Schultz, Heather Estabrooks, trained by Brett Schultz, driven tonight by Tony Morgan. Field of 8, parading for the 11th race, Perfecta, Trifecta Wagering. Time of the turn. Here they come. They're off. Between horses like gangbusters, left for the lead, Thorny Number, and it's those two. No, they drive forward position, and like gangbusters, shows the early speed. Thorny Number drops in second. That's Sunbelt Racy in third. 3 lengths back to By Myself. 3 lengths back to Exciting View, followed by Jake's Coca, Fox Valley Winona. I'm in the Forecast. Out of the turn and racing for the quarter. Like gangbusters has the lead. Thorny Number second off the quarter. 28 and 4 the quarter. Positions unchanged. Like gangbusters leads the way. Thorny Number second. It's 2 lengths back to Sunbelt Racing. 2 lengths back to Do By Myself. Followed to the outside, Exciting View, Jake's Coca, Fox Valley Winona, and I'm in the Forecast. Approaching the half-mile marker, it's Daryl Bossy and Like Gangbusters. With the lead a length and a quarter, it's Thorny Number second. First over, Do By Myself. 59 and 4 the races, half over. Into the clubhouse, turning Like Gangbusters. Leads the way with Thorny Number second. On the outside, it's Do By Myself. Followed by Exciting View with cover. On the inside, Sunbelt Racy, Fox Valley Winona. Out of the turn, they curve into the box direction. Like Gangbusters strides clear again. Thorny Number is getting the trip second. Do By Myself. On the outside, Exciting View, followed by Sunbelt Racing. 130 flat 3/4. Now they drive into the far turn, and Like Gangbusters leads 2 lengths. Thorny Number second. On the outside of horses, Do By Myself, Sunbelt Racing. Here they come, turning for home. Like Gangbusters cuts the corner. Thorny Number charging up on the outside. Bussy coming to the whip. It's Like Gangbusters with the lead. It is Like Gangbusters at the wire. Moving to the winner's circle, number 2, Like Gangbusters. She is owned by Harriet and Nick Rambotas, trained by Billy Cloys, driven by Daryl Bussey. Art, owned by Rick Schulze and Kevin Werner, trained by Dan Eschbach and driven by Marshall Duncan. Number 2, Robbie's Lombora, owned and trained by Jerry Freeze, driven by Ronnie Marsh. Number 3 is Kiss Him Joe, owned by Vicky and Richard Sinnert, trained by Danny Nance and driven by Larry Stillbaum. Number 4, Kelly Tuck Greg, owned by Don Waldron, Martin and Deborah Corson, trained by John Izuski, driven by Danny Knox. Number 5, Ty Cobb Hanover, owned, driven, and trained by John Sheldon. 6 is Harvey Stewart, owned by Jim DeJong and Jerry Moore, along with R&D Sampson Stables, trained by Jim DeJong, driven by Darrell Bussey. 7, Skillax, owned by Art Roney, trained by Art Roney, driven by Dale Heitman. And number 8 is Versace, owned by Shirley and Art Levine, trained and driven by Doug Larson. That's the field of 8 for race number 12, Perfectus Superfecta Wagering. And the starting gate, here they come. They're off. Kissim Joe goes for the lead as they race full position. Kissim Joe is your leader, but Kelly Tuck Gregg joins the leader on the outside. Second, Harvey Stewart. Right there in third, Skillex drops in fourth, followed by Art, Robbie's Lambada. It's Ty Cobb, Hanover, Versace Trivine out of the third and racing for the quarter. Kissim Joe leads the way 2 lengths. Kelly Tuck Gregg is second to length and a quarter. Harvey Stewart in third. 28 seconds for the opening quarter. Positions unchanged, and Kissim Joe leads the way 2 lengths. Kelly Tuck Gregg is second to length and a quarter. Harvey Stewart right there in third. Skillax, and to the outside here comes Art, followed by Robbie's Lambada, Ty Cobb, Hanover, and Versace. As they drive for the half-mile marker, it's Kissim Joe, and he opens up by 2. Harvey Stewart is on the attack, 58-3, and Kissim Joe shows the way into the clubhouse turn. Harvey Stewart now third and whistling up on the outside. It's Kelly Tuck Gregg back to third, followed by Skillex, Art, and Ty Cobb, Hanover. Out of the turn, they curve into the back stretch, and Harvey Stewart powers up now to challenge and take command. It's Kissim Joe back to second. 3 lengths back to Kelly Tuck Gregg, followed on the outside by Skillex and Ty Cobb, Hanover. 128 and 1/3. Harvey Stewart opens up the lead now by 3 lengths. It's Kissim Joe second, Kelly Tuck Gregg, and the far outside Robbie's Lambada. Here they come, turning for home. It's Harvey Stewart with the lead. It's Kissim Joe second, and down the stretch they come. It's Harvey Stewart with the lead. On the outside, Kissim Joe is trying to come back. Here comes Kissim Joe with a rush. Kissim Joe is coming back at the wire. Circle number 3, Kissim Joe. Kissim Joe is owned by Vicky and Richard Sinnert, trained by Danny Nance, and driven by Larry Stelbaugh. $737.20, $737.20. Superfecta 3562. The pick 3 of 5